Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. I'm Lawrence Presman. We got a football game going tonight. It's in Dallas. Houston playing the Cowboys. Ross Benjamin will take that game apart. Carmine Bianco has a couple of prop bets for us. And Bryan Leonard is joining us right off the bat. He has got a hockey bet on the Washington-Utah matchup and another one on Detroit and San Jose. Teddy Covers is my co-host. A big shout out. Congrats to my man. Won his 5% play yesterday. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, we swept the board in the NFL yesterday, so we're feeling pretty good, Lawrence. I know you won your 5% as well. So, hey, it is what it is. We rather win those than lose them. And obviously we both won ours yesterday. My big game breakdown, we're going to talk a little NBA for tonight, the Houston Rockets and Milwaukee Bucks. And of course, in What Bettors Learned, we'll do 6 Bs. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Even though yesterday, as far as NFL Sunday goes, really weren't anything in terms of bad beats. I mean, I'm going to talk about a couple, but there were plenty on Saturday and Friday that we'll talk about. But for NFL Sunday, it was a day that mostly, the sides that were winning continue to win. Mostly.
So you had a good and bad day, Teddy. You had a good day for yourself, but you had to put up with some texts from me. I had a horrific Sunday. I went 1-4 in my NFL. I am currently on an 0-11 run in kicks against me, whether it's field goals or extra points. My 5% was on Buffalo. I was freaking out all game over that stinking extra point being missed. And then I could have salvaged the whole day if the Cincinnati kicker would have just right through. But, oh well, let's move on. It happens. I am humbly sorry to all my clients for not only a horrible Sunday, but a horrible Thursday and Friday as well. And I really am gutted. But I move on. I got 3 tonight. We're going to get it. And let's get on with the show. Bryan Leonard joining us right off the bat. And Bryan, firstly, how are you? Secondly, I can't wait to talk hockey.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Congratulations to Teddy. We did the college football program on Friday. And I had Tennessee, he had Georgia. And we went head-to-head, and Teddy beat me. I thought it was in pretty good shape when it was 10-0 Tennessee in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But they wore them out, and they were the better team, no doubt. Heads off to Teddy.
That was my only good day, Bryan. I had a great college football Saturday. My only loss out of 5 games was on that very game. I had the under in the first half, so that didn't go well. But, yeah, Teddy's in good form. Way to go, Teddy. Way to go. Okay, let's get on with this. Washington on the road playing Utah. They're in a back-to-back situation. They won last night against Vegas. They won 2 games before against Colorado. I'm curious as hell where you're going, and then I'm likely going to rip it apart.
The Capitals riding high, 4-1 record on the season. They've outscored the opposition by 24 goals. As you mentioned, 3rd game in 4 days here for Washington, as well as a second of back-to-back after winning last night in Vegas. But I'm a little bit less concerned with the fatigue here. The 2 games they played were both easy 5-2 wins. Vegas was never in that game last night. So Washington, we've played, when I say we, I'm talking about Vegas. That's my local team. We played Washington twice. Washington has been very impressive. I talked about it halfway through the season last year, that they got a lot more speed. They were playing a faster up and down game, and it's really turned around this team. They're playing really well. Utah's playing their 2nd game in 4 days after losing at home Saturday to the Golden Knights. And both teams have the next 2 days off. I looked at the 5-on-5 expected goal share. Washington 55.71 on the season. Utah 50.16. The Utah Hockey Club has been outscored by 9 goals on the season, which gives Washington a 33 goal advantage between these two. I've seen Utah play a few times. They were really good the first few games of the season, playing in the new city, allow all that excitement. They have not played nearly as well since. I can't go against Washington in a pick'em situation here where the only reason you do play Utah is because you think Washington's tired. Washington's been very good. And in fact, Ovi actually played some defense yesterday. He saved a goal for the Capitals. And if he is willing to play, I listened to the Washington broadcast, and they were talking about the newfound energy he's had this year defensively. If your best player is willing to play defense, it's sort of like in Major League Baseball. If your best hitter is the first guy out there every day getting hitting practice, first guy outfielding practice, you're going to have a pretty good team. I really like this Washington team. I like them tonight, and you're getting them in even less than a pick'em situation right now.
Brian, listen, me and you are not on the same page on this game, but that's a good thing for you because I bet against Washington against Colorado, and I was wrong. And then I bet against Washington against Las Vegas, and I was wrong. So full disclosure, I don't have a good read on this Washington Capitals team, but I want to talk conceptually with you about this play because it's also important, for our listeners and our viewers to sort of hear how we handicap games, what we define as important or not important, et cetera, et cetera. So let me sort of give you the reasons why I don't like Washington here, and please fill me in. So you said last night that the game against Las Vegas was an easy win for Washington. Washington was outshot almost 2-1. Las Vegas had 42 shots to Washington's 25. After the first period, Washington basically got like 5 shots on goal for the rest of the game. Las Vegas missed empty netters. They hit some goal posts along the way. Ovi stopped and opened an empty net opportunity. Las Vegas dominated that hockey game and had bad puck luck. I take shots on goal into account in my handicap. I think it's crucial because it demonstrates a few things. Most importantly, it demonstrates puck possession, and it also demonstrates where the puck is on the ice, as in Washington's end. So I don't see that game the way you saw it. But more importantly, 2 factors here. One, teams that play Colorado and Vegas, those are 2 of the best teams in hockey. You get really up to play Colorado and Vegas. Then you beat them, and then you play Anaheim or San Jose or Chicago or Utah. Hard to get up after playing those 2 teams. And it's an angle I love to look at. The third thing, Bri, is Washington is in another conference. This Utah team, it's understandable to get up for a team in another conference if they're the Oilers or the Avs. But we see, if you go look at San Jose's wins or Chicago's wins or Anaheim's wins, it's usually teams in another conference who just is having a down game. Those are my 3 reasons why I'm not with you on this. Any thoughts?
Major thoughts. First off, you said you thought Vegas completely outplayed them.
For the last 2 periods.
Listen to the press conferences coming out of Vegas' locker room. They thought they were terrible. They were a step slow all game. They did not play well. And I understand your thoughts on. I understand your thoughts on shots on goal, but when one team gets off to a quick lead, and if they're smart, they're not trying to score at the other end. They're just trying to prevent the other team from scoring. We saw how many years did the New York Islanders do that? They had such a great defense. They just take the lead
specialty.
And take the, like I always say, take the air out. You can't take an air out of a puck, but you take the air out of it. And that's what happened. So you need to understand how the goals were scored, when the goals were scored, and at that point, see what the team is going to do. And that's exactly what happened. They took an early lead in that game. They took the air out of the puck, and that's why Vegas had so many shots on goal.
Are we done with that? That was a heck of a follow-up, Lawrence. Was that 4 minutes, 5 minutes? Well done. No. We're on hard out today. Let's talk about the Red Wings and the Sharks. Look at the WagerTalk live odds screen right now. I'm seeing the guys from Hockey Town minus 140 up to minus 150 as the current price range for Detroit. Total in this game sitting at 6. Red Wings and the Sharks. How do you break it down? Bryan Leonard.
Yeah, looking at this game, 5-on-5 expected goals on the season. Detroit 45.02, San Jose 41.52, which is why neither team has that great of a record. The Red Wings have a minus 13 goal differential on the season. The Sharks are minus 22. Neither team has a favorable situation schedule-wise tonight. Red Wings are playing their third road game in 4 days, and they're off back-to-back losses to Anaheim and the LA Kings. They'd love to get a split in this 4-game road trip as they won the first one and get back to Detroit. Anytime you get back home after a road trip and go 2-2, that's something you want to take a look at, and I think that's what they're aiming for tonight. San Jose is playing their 6th straight game in a different city. After 4 on the road, they head home for a game tonight. Then they leave once again for back-to-back games against Dallas and St. Louis. Anybody who's traveled before knows how tough that is. We talk about it all the time in basketball. You're on the road 4 games, you come home, the kids want to see you, you got to get your washing done and the whole bit, and then you're gone again. That is a negative. Even though they're playing at home, it's a negative because they played in so many different cities here. I really like the way San Jose is playing right now. This is a team we can make some money on. I've been playing on plus the 1.5 goals, been playing on them lately. They're playing a lot better hockey than they were earlier in the season. So I like the San Jose Sharks, but I hate this situation for them. Give me Detroit. Money's come in on San Jose. Now the value is on Detroit here.
Bryan Leonard, everyone. Outstanding stuff, Bryan. You've always been incredible in betting NHL. What do you have to promote?
These are my 2 plays I've got to sell today, so you can save yourself a couple of $25 bills. They don't have $25 bills, but anyway, you can get those right now for free here, so you don't got to pay for them. But I do want to let you know I love a play in college football coming up on Saturday. It's only our 4th college football 5% of the season.
Nice.
Got that up right now, and you can pick that up now because I think the line is going to move a little bit on that one. So grab that play now, the big 5% in college football.
Well, I got a quick question. Why did you not save putting that play up today and put it up at 8 p.m. Eastern time for $5 for our listeners and customers? Teddy, go ahead.
Can I answer? Yeah. He just said. What Bryan literally just came out of his mouth. I think this line is going to move. I posted it right now because I want to get the best of the number.
So
that's Bryan for his client.
I have a response.
Bryan taking care of his client.
Dude, I do that all the time. I put in the play. I just don't put it up for sale until 8 p.m. Eastern. So all my clients, my long-term clients, because the long-term clients are the key to our lifeblood. Our long-term clients get it, and our short-term clients get it for $5. Anyway, Bri, I love your purple shirt. I love everything about you. You are a wonderful man. Now get the hell out of here.
And it's a blue shirt, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm colorblind. Teddy, we got a great show still. Ross Benjamin joining us, Carmine, Bianco, your B6, and a big game breakdown. But before we get into any of that, I have the craziest story ever to tell you, and I will be quick. I tried to call Carmine yesterday to tell him the story. He didn't answer because he was sick of my texts. But here's the story. It's somewhat, I don't know if it's inappropriate or not, but hey, for humor's sake, I'm going to say it. Dan, why is Teddy's face like it? When I'm telling the story and people are looking at Teddy as he rolls his eyes and like,
I didn't think I was on camera. I'm doing it. Literally, I thought it was a one shot on you. And I was just, that's what I'm doing when I don't think I'm on camera.
Yeah, come on, Dan. It ruins everything. Okay, fine. We'll tell the story with Teddy. Okay, so I go to work out on Saturday at the gym with a friend of mine, Mike. We work out, we go over sauna. After the sauna, we hop into the showers. The showers are individual showers with a partition between us. So we can't see each other, but we can talk to each other. So we're having a chat back and forth. Obviously, we are stark naked as we're in the shower. And I say to him, Mike, blah, 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 blah. And I hear nothing. And I'm like, Mike, can you hear me? Nothing. I'm like, Mike, nothing. I have this wave come over me. Something is wrong. I run out of my shower. I pull the curtain open of his shower. My towel is hanging right here on the left, and he is up against the wall of his shower with his head on his arm like this. I'm like, oh my God, should I grab my towel? I reach to grab my towel, and Mike starts falling backwards. He fainted. I didn't have time to grab my towel. So he falls into my arms. I bear hug him. We're both stark naked. And I put him on the ground, in which he's sitting on top of my lap, on the ground, passed out with his head up against my chest. After 3 minutes and a million people walking past two naked 50-year-old men on the ground in the bathroom, he comes to, we get him in the cold shower, and everything worked out okay. So would you have grabbed the towel, Teddy?
I don't know. It's a Borat story, dude. I feel like I've seen this before already.
Okay,
Let's
guys.
talk some bad beats, bad bets.
Go ahead.
No, you want to ask for
No.
You want to ask for comments and likes?
I
and
want to
whether people
know.
think it's a
I
good
want
story?
to know if people would have grabbed the towel. Anyway, B6. Let's hear it, my brother.
Let's talk some bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. A little recap of what just happened this past weekend. And, well, we had a fair few beats in college football this week. UTSA against North Texas. Total sitting at 73 Friday night. It's 41-27. The Roadrunners need one first down to take a knee. Instead, they get an 83-yard touchdown scamper. 48-27 final, cash is over. That's tough if you had the under in that one. UCLA gets the meaningless touchdown with 9 seconds left in Washington. That was a dead nuts under game. That was 17-13 with less than 6 minutes to play. Cashed over 47. Bruins still lose after punching in that meaningless TD with 9 seconds left, 31-19. But under bettors not amused with that last touchdown. I don't know what to say about Nebraska. Plus 7.5, plus 7, plus 6.5, plus 6. This game worked out great for the house. The Huskers cover for 57 minutes. The final scoring drive for USC. They got a fourth down conversion. They got a tip pass at the line of scrimmage that bounced up and was caught downfield for a first down. They had a fumble with multiple defenders around it, and it rolls out of bounds. And the Trojans win by 8, another one-score loss. No fun if you had the Cornhuskers on Saturday. Boise State plus 14. Sorry, Boise State minus 14 versus San Jose State. San Jose State's up 14-0. They have first and goal. And they went for it on fourth down, and then they didn't get any points. They still led 21-14 third quarter. You're plus 14. Listen to how this sequence plays out. Plus 14, you're up by a touchdown, second half. You get stopped on downs in Boise territory. You fumble in Boise territory. And, of course, down 14 with the ball and driving. It's a pick six inside 2 minutes. You lose that game 42-21. San Jose plus 14. No fun. UNLV wasn't any fun either. Minus 21.5. They have 500 yards of offense. They win the turnover battle. They outgain San Diego State 2-1. It's 35-6 in the second half, and the Rebels call off the Dogs. A punt return sets up a cheap Aztecs touchdowns. The Rebel get a 72-yard drive, but then they stall on first and goal and kick a field goal. They're back up 21. Last drive, UNLV. First and goal from the 3. Second and goal from the 1. Oops. Fumble. San Diego State stopped on down. Rebels take a knee. 21-point win. Minus 21.5. No good. Ouch. The NFL yesterday, I mean, what do you call bad beats? Call the Bengals bad beat? I didn't. Call the Jets a bad beat? I didn't. You know, I understand Evan McPherson was missing field goals. I understand the Jets were up by 8 in the fourth quarter, but there really wasn't much side or total for bad beats in the NFL yesterday. I consider that a good thing. When it comes for bad bets, look, over the weekend, Louisville minus 18 up to minus 21. At Stanford, they lost outright. Cal minus 7 to as high as minus 11 against Syracuse. Well, the Orange won that game wire to wire. SMU minus 14.5 against up to 19.5 against BC. Even with that, oh my God, if that mattered, cider touchdown, cider total touchdown in the final seconds, SMU only won that game by 10. The SMU money, bad bets. The Cal money, bad bets. The Louisville money, bad bets. All Browns money yesterday. Saints from -2 to +1.5. 14-14 tie turned into a 35-14 Saints run out. Bad bets on Cleveland. Bad bets on Green Bay yesterday. I was one of them. Packers. Well, certainly on Bet On It. I used it as a free play, and I used it in the big game breakdown on this show. So Packers money -3 to -6 versus the Bears. The bettors got some back with the under bets, 44.5 down to 41. It lands 39 after a Green Bay missed 2-point conversion. And of course, they bet the Steelers-Ravens total up 44.5 up to 48.5, 18-16 final. The over money was certainly bad bets. Bad for the books. Let's see. Nothing but Tulane money versus Navy. That was a wise guy special. -6 through the key number of 7 up to 7.5, 35-0 Green Wave. Bettors are fading Purdue every week now. Penn State -28 to -30.5. They won by 39. Brady Cook played South Carolina -14 down to -11. Wild game against Missouri. The books took a beating on that one. South Carolina only won by 4. Nobody bet LSU. The Gators +7 to +7 to -3. No, +7 to +3. They won the game by double digits. And all that Kansas money came in against BYU. That was another bad result for the books. Of course, in the NFL, nobody bet the Raiders. Dolphins -7 to -8. They won by 15. Nobody bet the Jaguars. -10, -10.5 up to -14. And on every parlay card was Detroit. The Lions won by 46. That was bad for the house. Everybody bet the Broncos. +1, +2 at the open, -2 at the close. Denver won that game by 32. And lots of Bills money yesterday. Every wise guy bet Buffalo, and Buffalo got the money. All those results, bad for the house. There you have it. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Mr. Prez, back to you.
Love that segment, Teddy, and I agree with you. No bad beat stood out to me either. And, you know, as a guy who was sitting with the Bengals, I didn't consider it a bad beat. Actually, at the time, and I'm texting with Marco, who was on the Chargers, I was considering it just standard procedure in my life. So, yeah. Ross Benjamin joining us. Ross, would you have grabbed the towel?
I'm just glad your buddy is okay. You know,
yeah, he is okay.
Yeah, that's the main part of the equation there. As far as me grabbing the towel or not grabbing the towel, who knows? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Press. All I know is you did the right thing. You did the right thing.
I did. And yeah, and I was shook up over it. Sincerely shook up. But one of our listeners, Justin P., reminded me that story reminded him of Carmine's Viagra story. If either of you have not heard Carmine's Viagra story, it sits on the Mount Rushmore of stories. I'm sure, Teddy, that Ross has some Viagra stories as well. But we're going to move on right now. Ross Benjamin! We got
these old jokes are getting old, with no pun intended. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Saturday I hit my 5% best bet on Georgia over Tennessee. 2 in one day. I lose the one game with Notre Dame -21.5. Talking about a bad beat, Teddy, backdoor cover with a touchdown by Virginia with 38 seconds ago, and they win the game 35-14. Prior to that, they missed a 38-yard field goal with 2 minutes to go. Notre Dame, I mean. So it was 2 in 1. Anyway, go ahead, Prez. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say I know about missed field goals and extra points. I'm on an 0-11 run in them.
Yeah,
Ross, let's get. Yeah.
That's just bad luck. So anyway.
Yeah, of course. It happens. I have good luck in life. Ross, the Texans, the Cowboys. I am passing. I got nothing. So you tell me how to bet this game.
I broke this down over and over and over again. And, you know, Dallas is getting, Houston's getting pounded, as I think we all expected, based on how Dallas has played this year, especially recently and especially at home and especially with a backup quarterback. But I just don't trust Houston of late either. So I looked at the first half of this game, and Houston's a 4-point favorite in the first half. Yeah, the Texans, and again, I'm going to get into some trends here, Prez, and they're not coincidental. Houston's just a plain and simple fast starting team. 9-1 against the spread in the first half this year, 6-0 against the spread in the first half in their last 6 games, outscoring their opponents in the first half by 9.4 points per game. But why wouldn't I take Houston for the game, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you did ask. The last 4 games, Houston has been outscored in the second half, 60-15. They've only accounted for 5 field goals and 0 touchdowns in the last 4 games in second half action, getting outscored by a combined 45 points. So we have a fast starting team in Houston, and we also have a team in Houston that's faded badly in the second half of games of late. Dallas has just been brutal at home this season. They're 0-4 straight up in ATS. They're 0-4 against the spread in the first half of home games this year, and getting outscored in the first half in all 4 of those home games by an average of 9.5 points per contest. Real simple here. We have a fast starting team that I don't trust based on their second half performances over the last 4 games to use them as a full game pick. And a team in Dallas that's, they're terrible in every aspect, but especially so, they've been outscored by almost 10 points a game at home in the first half. So I'm going to take Houston here as a first half wager, -4 over the Dallas Cowboys.
I want to ask you, Ross, how predictive, when you talk about the last 4 games, the Texans have had rough first halves, and they have, or rough second halves, I should say, they have repeatedly. How predictive is that, do you think, moving forward? Do you think that when a team has a handful of rough second halves, that's a giant red flag we're going to stay away from? Or when a team has a bunch of rough second halves, it's the kind of thing that maybe they're talking about and working about, and maybe they straighten it out? So I want to ask how predictive you think it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, Teddy. And you know what? I think I can answer that much better after I see their second half tonight. Because if they get outscored in the second half tonight against a brutal team in Dallas right now, playing with a backup quarterback, I would say that's a huge concern. So to answer your question truthfully, I don't mean to dodge it, Teddy, but it's certainly something that's concerning right now. But I can answer that more emphatically after I see what they do in the second half tonight against Dallas.
Ross Benjamin joining us, everyone. Ross, no more old jokes from this old guy, okay?
Nah, I love you, buddy. Don't worry.
Of course, brother. Ross, the Pistons, take the under. The or the over. The Pistons, -4. You have found a reason to bet on this shit team?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how shit a team they are right now, Perez. I mean, they started the year 1-5, and they've won 6 of their last 9 games. So both of these teams played yesterday. Both teams will be playing their 3rd game in 4 days. So in terms of rest, both are going to be tired going into tonight. So that's a wash. And these teams are headed down opposite paths. I just told you what the Detroit Pistons have done of late. 6 out of their last 9 they've won. On the other hand, the Chicago Bulls, they've lost 7 of their last 9. And here's the more concerning part with the Bulls of late. They played matador defense, to say the least, over their last 3 games, Teddy, allowing 137 points per game, and opponents have shot 53% from the field against them. On top of the 6-3 run Detroit is on, they've won 3 of their last 4 at home, and their only loss came by 2 against a red-hot Houston Rockets team. So I'm going to take the Pistons here, lay the 4. I mean, you always have to wake up and make sure that you're not dreaming when you look at the NBA board and see the Pistons as a favorite based on the last couple seasons, right? But this is the 3rd time they're a favorite this season. They covered their last one. They're going to cover tonight. Detroit Pistons -4 over the Chicago Bulls.
So Chicago certainly hasn't played good basketball, but yesterday's loss might have been the worst of the bunch. That was, you talked about matador defense, the quotes from Chicago after the game were not amused. Kobe White. This was an embarrassment. This was a disservice to the fans and a disservice to a historic organization. The fans don't deserve that. Do you worry at all that tonight's the night the Bulls step up and actually do something? I mean, they've been a decent point spread team as an underdog.
Well, the bottom line is that game was played at home last night, and that prompted those comments, certainly, because that happened on their home floor. I believe the final was 143-107. And also, Teddy, look at they've allowed 140 points or more in 2 of their last 3 games. So if Pride was going to step up, you would think it would have stepped up already. They're a horrible defensive team. Now, Detroit's not a good offensive team by any stretch of the imagination when you look at their shooting splits. But by the same token, I just look at the team that's on the right path against a team that's going in the opposite direction right now. And I think Detroit is they can make Detroit look like a very good offensive team tonight, in my estimation. And the Pistons, when you stop and consider, Teddy, this is a team that struggled mightily last year, the worst team in the NBA by far. Okay, long losing streak. I think it was a record-setting losing streak they had, at least franchise-wise. And here they are sitting at 7-8 and winners of 6 of their last 9, playing on their home floor, coming off back-to-back road wins. So I just think the momentum is with the Detroit Pistons tonight, Teddy. Although, sure, that's if you think that Chicago would bounce back, you would think against a team like the Pistons, which is a winnable game, they would. I got to see something better from the Chicago Bulls defensively before I'm willing to back them, even as an underdog.
Ross Benjamin joining us. Yeah, I think it's the Raptors' turn to be the most horrific team in basketball. Ross, what do you got to promote, my brother?
So the Monday Night Football play that I just gave you guys, that's going to be my premium pick tonight on the game, the first half with Houston -4. So don't purchase that if you're watching this. It's just an extra kick in for me being on the show, and because I've struggled in the NFL over the recent weeks, but that hasn't been the case in college football. 2-1 on Saturday. I'm down to 123-84, 59% up over $9,300 since December 2nd of 2022. Yet I never get asked to be on a college football show on WagerTalk TV. Whoa. I don't know why. College football this year, 39-26, 60% and up 2,500 units. That's good for number 2. That prior streak is number 1. But what do I know in college football? And the NBA. What? What's that?
Ross,
I'm sorry.
Ross. You're is this a pity party right now? Like I will get you on the college football show.
I am marketing myself. Okay, I'm marketing myself. Yeah, and it's a very competitive site, so I have to market myself. All right. College basketball totals 89-55 run, up $9,200. NBA sides 116-76. That's 60% since April of 23, up over $10,000. NBA college basketball combined 84-54. 4% plays in football. How about 48-23 run since 2022? Nice. And it included a 4% play on the Buffalo Bills yesterday over the Kansas City Chiefs. So until the next time, thank you, Prez. I appreciate you having me on. And Teddy, you have a great week as well, my friend.
Thanks, Ross Benjamin, everyone. Ross, I'm going to get you on that college football show, I promise. Thanks for joining us, my brother. Teddy covers. It's time for your big game breakdown, and then Carmine Bianco with some NFL prop bets.
Big game breakdown. Let's go to the association for Monday night and talk about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Houston Rockets. Right now, looking at the free WagerTalk Live odds screen, -3/-3.5 for Milwaukee. I'd say more 3.5 than 3. That is a split line. If you want the Bucks, lay 3. If you want the Rockets, take 3.5. Both widely available. Total in this game sitting 224 right now. Let me be very clear. The Milwaukee Bucks are 4-9 straight up. In the East, the weaker of the two conferences, if the playoffs started today, the Bucks would not be in the play-in game. They won at Philly on opening night. Since then, they've been favored 8 times. They've covered twice. 5 straight up losses as favorites. And bigger favorites, -4, -6.5, -8.5, -9, all straight up losses. They're number 18 in offensive efficiency, number 17 in defensive efficiency, and number 24 in rebound rate. Giannis is still a superstar. The next 3 best players on the team, you have a really old-looking Damian Lillard. You have a bench player in Bobby Portis, and you have I'm starting to look old too, Brook Lopez at center. This is not an elite team. The bench has been outplayed all year, and it's not like you need me to tell you how consistently underachieving Doc Rivers coach teams have been. Remember, the Bucks went 17-19 down the stretch last year. They're 4-9 this year. They ain't no good. And the markets don't seem to be paying attention to the actual product, not the expectation. And meanwhile, here's Giannis's quote. I think the last 5 or 6 games we've been playing good basketball. Guys are competing. I just love to see it. The last 6 games, they do have 3 wins. They beat Utah, Toronto, and Detroit in overtime. Houston, the season high point total yesterday, season best margin of victory in the win over Chicago, which is what you want when you're playing the first of back-to-backs. All 5 starters, less than 29 minutes in that ball game. They've won 5 straight. They've won 7 of their last 8. Fred VanVleet, we're just finding our rhythm. We got off to a shaky start, but we're finding our flow. And right now, we've got it in a good place. We got to stay locked in and focused. Worth noting, I talked about Milwaukee's crappy stats. Houston, number 1 in the NBA in rebound rate, number 3 in defensive efficiency, number 17 in offensive efficiency. They're better in all 3 categories than Milwaukee, and they're catching points. Well, not in my world, they're not. Give me the Houston Rockets plus the 3.5 in Milwaukee on Monday night. Appreciate the likes, appreciate the follows, appreciate the comments very, very much. Best of luck with all your plays on Monday night. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Guys, if you like what you're hearing, please take a second out of your day and hit that like button. Teddy, I've got 2 NHL bets, 1 NBA and 1 college basketball tonight. Even though I had a horrible 4-day stretch, I am doing really well in hoops like always. NHL, I'm doing fine in. I just had a couple of bad days. Are you in play tonight on the Dallas-Houston game?
Oh, God, no. I have no idea what to do with that game. I really don't. So it's a pass for me for Monday Night Football. I have 2 NBA bets for tonight. You just got one of them for watching the show for free.
Nice. Carmine Bianco joining us. Carm, how are you, dude? Sorry about blowing your phone up with my misery yesterday.
It was frustrating to say the least. I know Teddy and Mark will go through it.
Not
I
like
think I
you.
yelled at
You
you
go
and
through it
Andrew.
worse.
Yeah, it's like Teddy. It's like 50 messages in a row of him just low as me. It's just everything happens against me. You know what I mean? And these messages are coming while I'm watching the Cincinnati game, which is my 5% play, which did not win. You know what I mean? And no, it wasn't a bad beat. They were getting beaten badly, came back in the second half, had a chance to win on a couple of occasions or go ahead, but didn't. It is football. So it was a bad day as far as that goes overall. Friday, I was the hammer. Saturday, I was the hammer. Sunday, I was the nail. So sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. You have to take it in stride and continue to try and beat the hammer each and every day.
Okay, so I gotta hide my phone because clearly Carmine was hating on me yesterday. He didn't call me back after I called him either. Carm, let's get into some prop bets. Nico Collins and Joe Mixon. Why don't you give them both to us?
Yeah, I'm like Teddy on this one. I think this one, given the line the books have out and it hasn't really moved, I don't have a play tonight on the side or total. I'm going to play a couple props, and these are going to be ones I load for clients after the show. I'm going to take the Nico Collins. This is the receiving prop over 72.5 yards. This is the first week in which he carries no designation going into the game, so he's practiced. He should be ready to go. And in the 5 games that he played this season, he went over this number in each game. When he's in there, the Texans' pass game is so much better. 272 yards passing average when he's in there, 165 when he's not in there. 78 or more yards in every single game that he's played in this year, 113.4 average. And the Cowboys are sort of mid-pack. They allow 210 yards passing. I think that's 15th, but 223 at home. So I like this Nico Collins one. I'm on props for Texans players tonight because I think the Texans win this one, but I don't want to lay the number either. So that's where I'm going here. Now, if you're wondering why the Nico Collins one is at 72.5, given the fact that he's gone over the 5, going over the total in all of 5, it could be coverage. He's going to be double teamed. It could be limited snaps. I don't think that's going to happen. It could be that if they get out to a big lead, they turn to the running game. Those are ones that factor into it, but it's been like that in the first 5 games, and he still got over the total. The second one, Prez, I'm going to go with is the Joe Mixon one, and that sort of correlates back to what I'm looking at here. Over 86.5 rushing yards. He's gone over this number in 5 of 7 games thus far this season. Cowboys rush defense. They're much maligned defense, and the rush especially, 31st in the NFL in rush defense at 152.1 rushing yards allowed per game. 170 in the last 3 games. This defense is really struggling right now. I'm going to take the Joe Mixon over 86.5 yards. I say he gets this number.
So I want to ask you about the Texans' offensive line, which is a little bit banged up and really hasn't played, because both of these props, to me, rely on Houston being able to open up holes for their running backs and be able to protect C.J. Stroud, which has been a consistent problem for them in recent weeks. Dallas does have Micah Parsons available. I'd be interested to see the Cowboys splits with Micah Parsons in and out of the lineup. They've been much worse without him than with him. How concerned are you about Houston's ability to actually protect Stroud and open holes for Mixon, given that Micah Parsons is in the lineup for Dallas?
I get it. I'm pretty sure that the Texans will have the correct coverage, Teddy, on that offensive line, and I get it. Anytime you're missing anyone on the O line, it's always going to be a factor. But this is just one right now, and I think this is why the number probably hasn't gone past that 7. And I think if it went past that 7, you probably get a little bit of sharp money buying back on the Cowboys at home, where they're 0-4 this season after having gone 16-0 the last couple seasons. I don't think that I think Stroud's having a very good season. I think it's enough for me, even with a banged up offensive line, that quick release, he gets that ball out. He now has 2 receivers. We obviously Stephon Diggs is injured. It is a good time for Tank Dell as well too, having someone back. Tank Dell's taken the brunt of the double coverages, so he's got 2 receivers. He'll get it away quick enough here, and if they get the Cowboys in a hole, I think it just sets up the running game. They protect against the pass, and it just opens it up for Mixon. I'm not as concerned as you might be with it, but it's worked for me thus far this season in props. I'm having a fantastic year, and I'm going to continue to plug away at them.
We've got less than 2 minutes till our hard out. You still have to promote yourself. But first, talk about the Boston-Columbus NHL matchup, and then promote yourself when you're through. Give us a little bit of analysis on Boston-Columbus, and tell us what's going on for Carmine Bianco and his clients on Monday night.
Yeah, I'll make this Boston one quick. I'm going to take the puck line with the Bruins here. You're getting a little bit of plus money on them on the puck line. A scheduling spot for Columbus. I took advantage of a scheduling spot on the weekend with them, and taking the Montreal Canadiens, who are a miserable team but won that game 5-1. Bruins come off a 3-2 loss in OT to St. Louis. Get Columbus on the their third game in 4 nights. Swayman's confirmed in goal for the Bruins tonight. And Columbus is 1-8 on the road this season. They've surprised some really good teams at home. That form doesn't carry over on the road. 8 losses on the road in 9 games, 5 of those by multiple goals. I'm going to take the Bruins, who normally don't win games by multiple goals, to take advantage of a tired Columbus team and win by a goal and a half or more, or 2 goals or more. NHL in November, fantastic start to November in NHL, plus 31.05 units, which is number one at WagerTalk for November in NHL. And Nations League Soccer, there's a two-pack up for this afternoon. Nations League tournament, 9-0 with sides and totals since Thursday. And I got a couple plays up. They go at 2:45 today, 2 NHL plays up. And you can use promo code week69 to get 7-day all access package for $69.
Carmine Bianco locked and loaded for Monday night in multiple sports, or Monday evening and Monday night in multiple sports. And that's going to wrap it for the Monday edition of Wager Talk Today. Drew Martin and myself will be doing the NFL opening line report 15 minutes from now right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Of course, you can visit my page, wt.buzz/TC. You can visit all of our pages at wagertalk.com. Stay tuned right now for Lawrence's daily presidential address, and best of luck with all your bets on Monday night. Cheers.
Welcome, everybody, to the Daily Presidential Address. I'm Lawrence Presman, and I've got one NHL bet to give out to you guys. This is a client play, and it is on the same game as Carmine Bianco just broke down. If you didn't watch Wager Talk today, check it out. Carmine Bianco came on. He likes Boston -1.5 against Columbus. And I'm going to look at this game from a regulation perspective. I love Boston here, just like Carmine, but I'm going to take Boston in regulation at -115. Look, the bottom line here is twofold. Firstly, the Columbus Blue Jackets are really, really bad, and there's no end in sight for this team. Obviously, they had a horrible loss with Johnny Gaudreau, their superstar, being killed this past summer. Their captain is out as well. This is a team that can't get out of their own way. This is a team that lost 6 straight games before they finally beat the Pittsburgh Penguins, only to fall back down to earth and lose 5-1 to the Montreal Canadiens. This is a team that also struggles to score. They put up 6 against Pittsburgh, but before that, in their last 9 games, the Columbus Blue Jackets has scored more than 2 goals one single time. And they also are horrible defensively. Montreal just put 5 on them. Seattle 5, Anaheim 5, LA Kings 5, Washington 7, Winnipeg 6. This is the worst defensive team in hockey. And they're playing a Boston Bruins team that just lost 2 straight games. They lost to Dallas 7-2, and they lost at home to St. Louis in overtime 3-2. They also only had 18 shots in their last game, which means to me that they are going to have a ton of shots tonight. I think this is a great spot to bet Boston, and I also think, based on the fact that Columbus is playing 3 games in 4 nights, this is a tough spot for Columbus. One of my favorite bets on the card. This is a client play. Take the Boston Bruins in regulation. Thanks for watching the Daily Presidential Address. We'll see you guys tomorrow.